In a defuse kit on the CT side for Alpha Red, Sicko, and Dexter will have grenades for Grayhound, including a Molotov on Dexter. Very curious to see where that might head on Overpass.
Yeah, there's so many options, isn't there? It's one of the, I think, favorite maps of many to watch on a professional level. For me, it's, depending on the teams, can be my absolute favorite. It's so tactical, so many options for the Ts and the CTs. A lot of depth to this map, lots you can do. And we'll see Grayhound quickly moving towards the A-long position, and they're going to just try to bum rush this A-bomb side here. As you mentioned, they've got lots of utility for post-plant. Oh, that's not a bad find for Olivier. He spots some more, can get some information for his team, doesn't have to face anymore, can try to play conservatively using his teammate there. KdTV through the smoke, picks up another headshot. 3 players left now for Grayhound, and they have to plant the bomb. The CT's already rotated on through. The smoke not quite covering things there. This looks very bad for Grayhound.
It does indeed, but the CTs are behind the choke point, so maybe they can do something about it. Dick Stacy taking a gamble, so far so good. That's really good. This has turned around very quickly indeed, leaving STK and John Jane, but now Dick Stacy is on his own, delivering another headshot, looking for number 3. Is there a kit for Olivia in a reasonable spot? This is taking a long time. There we go, and he's got time to defuse the bomb. So a great start and a solid finish for Alpha Red. Those shots towards long, the angle through the smoke as well. So the execute came in from Grayhound, but didn't quite work out for them.
And one of the cool things there as well is that Olivia, is the guy that made first contact 1 against 5. He got that quick headshot, and he managed to stay alive until until he was the last man alive in the round. And that's always cool to see, because that means he was staying in the action, he was keeping the pressure on, he was constantly taking contact. We saw that he was playing around the bank position, and so he was playing in a very smart way, knowing the timings to pick his fights and the timings to play defensively. And as you say, Alpha Red starting off with all the monies in the world, and Grayhounds looking to go for a similar approach as to what we saw previously. But the difference here is they actually planted they got a bomb plant here, so they are playing it conservatively. Bomb spotted, bomb dropped. Cat's going to wrap around the back, perhaps, or towards the bomb site. And they're trying to let them pass here, but he's missed the trick.
Died to a Glock, and AUG versus Glock and a Glock wins. That's kind of weird. And now this might slow down as they try to do what they can with a very powerful weapon. Moving back towards long, resetting the situation essentially. There's no need for Alpha Red to try and flank or anything like that. 4 versus 2, they can just hold the bomb sites. There's no Kevlar for these players, which they can safely assume. So there's no need to do anything crazy. That rifle now taken away, and it would be in their interests, Alpha Red, to just keep an eye on that, because Dexter will probably go for it. His best chance to do something in this round is to pick up the AUG. He'll make his way up. There's STK by the tree, and that will be the end of that. The AUG will be collected, the M4 dropped. 2-0 for Alpha Red, and now we see the AKs coming out for Grayhound.
Yes, indeed. The AK-47s will be coming in hot here, but also they'll have a lot of utility to be backed up with as well. So for me, I'm very curious, are they going to go straight to a default style? On Mirage, it looked like Grayhound were doing that, but it seemed to be the case that they were doing that because they didn't feel comfortable with the set pieces. So this could be a very different story here for Grayhounds. Defaults are a great way to play Counter-Strike, but you don't want to just do that. You just never want to do only one thing in pretty much anything that's competitive. Your opponents will be able to read your movements very easily. You don't want to ever become predictable. But part of the benefit of defaults is that just gaining a lot of map control allows you to be very adaptable and take a variety of different decisions. But here we can see Grayhounds, they are not looking to investigate the bathrooms just yet. They are at quite a late timing coming through connector. They have no control over sewers, so it's quite risky to push through this squeaky door without anybody else on the other ends. And they're going to try to do it safely here. Flashbang across, beautiful stuff, that's what you want to see. One flashbang can make it safe, just $200. It's definitely worth it. Molly to the barrels, and the harassment starts to begin here. 50 seconds to go, and Grayhounds are bringing themselves towards the speed bomber side.
Clock continues to run down. There's still plenty of mollies for an execute from Grayhound, so they've been fishing with the odd grenade here or there, but here comes the real stuff. The smoke towards the balcony, the flashbang over the monster position. There'll be more flashes as well as the mollies are deployed. Another one towards the barrel position too, in fact. But there's a counter molly from a rotation for Olivia, which will delay things, and limit the split. Now there's 20 seconds to try and plant the bomb. There's 3 players in the CT water. That can't be expected. Betico's doing great work so far. And now it's STK versus 2, but the bomb is in his sights with 10 seconds on the clock. He needs to win that duel, and he might just win a round. Huge frag at the end. Very expensive for Alfred, but that is a monstrous play from STK. Really nice stuff from him. 7 frags on the board so far. Really been impactful in this early start from Alfred.
Yeah, I love the peeking, the way that he was peeking the bomb there, and also the last player. That was beautiful, kind of making it really hard to find any clean connections for his opponents, and at the same time he had a superior angle, so that was just perfect. Really confident stuff here from Alfred out of the gates. There was some fantastic options there. I thought Sicko had done it. You know, he had a brilliant 2K on the entrance to the bomb site, but into this round now we see the Deagles coming out in force for Grayhound just to keep the pressure on, but they can't afford to go for a full buy. And Alpha Reds, they play forward positions initially just to get a beat on how fast Grayhound are playing, and they then fall back safely to the bomb sites, making sure that they don't give anything away for free. Quick HUs there to the corners of the sewers, see if they can pick anything up, but as we can see, it is the bathrooms in which Grayhound are trying to make their move within currently, but smoke will delay things somewhat, make it a bit more annoying. If they can somehow find close positions to burst onto the A-bomb site, and there are a couple of shots missed by Alpha Red, there is always a chance.
Yeah, the smoke actually helps him in that regard, but it is also the safer approach for Alpha Red. That's the last flashbang for Grayhound, and now it's a shooting gallery. Well, if you've got to be careful from that long position, he got some just in time, but he's got to the point of no return. He's deep on the site on his own, and that might have been a mistake. Now that weapon can be collected, and there it is, Urkas kept picking it up, so I think that he was exposed to too many angles, but can he clean up the crouch peek from air rolls, and it'll just be the 2 frags for Grayhound. But you've got to be careful about how you move around on that site, especially deep like that, where the gun can relatively easily be retrieved. A lot more damage could have been done for Grayhound in that particular round. They plant the bomb as well, but it is 4-0 for Alpha Red, so just considering this is the pick for Grayhound, this is a good start for Alpha Red in terms of the score.
Yes, it's such a good start, and on the CT side as well, as it's a map that has so many options for your aggressions and your playstyles, it's really nice to secure a bank early on, so it allows you to take some risks and feel comfortable to do so. That said, Alpha Red have been sustaining quite a bit of damage in some of these rounds, so their economy is not really stabilized just yet. They really need somewhat of a clean round here. Curious whether the Orb of Olivia is going to get some value for Alpha Red in this one, and they are taking things relatively passive to begin with. Greyhounds slowly but surely playing their default down. I would imagine that they will start to move towards the bathrooms in the next 20 seconds or so. They are just moving through the playground at the moment. You see Dexter will now aid in the effort of map control towards this A side of the map, and STK, as you mentioned, James, he's been hitting pretty hard so far. It'll be interesting to see if he can find anything more from this position. It's quite a finicky position to play.
That smoke will soon go, and we'll look for Greyhound's attention to detail. Dexter's got it covered, but the shadow betrays his position. STK reversing now, and things are starting to get messy around the toilets, but a bomb can be collected with 40 seconds on the clock. How much is that shown of Greyhound's hand? They've got one player spotting towards long. Malta could try and serve a fake towards the B bomb site with 2 flashes and a Molotov, but he's still just lurking for now with 30 seconds on the clock. Olivia may hear some movement around the toilet's position. This is a safer angle to hold. 23 seconds. Greyhound are really running this clock down, but doesn't really help them. They're so far away from each other. What exactly is the play here? Malta going to a very late play, but the timing is surely off. The bomb's been spotted, so the fake is not going to really work out. They're also going to take it down in the meantime, though. Malta with 2 frags on the B bomb site, but they know the bomb is A, and that's going to be the round. Foxes just needs to hide now, so it was an expensive round, but Alfred will win nonetheless. And I feel like Malta needed to move and make a play towards the B bomb side a few seconds before they started to breach towards A, because it felt like the bomb was seen pretty much at exactly the same time. And yes, he kills 2 players on the B bomb site, Malta, but there's no need for a rotation for the A guys because they've seen the bomb. They have all the information they need to win the round.
Yeah, it's a little bit of indecision perhaps coming in from Greyhound there, which again, makes things more complicated. That's when when people talk about mid rounds and how good teams are in the mid round in Counter-Strike, it's stuff like that. And even though that was very late round, it's the idea that, okay, in the middle, too late round perhaps, you have these calls that maybe it's a 3 versus 3, a bunch of information is exchanged, but it's like
these guys are good at that.
Yeah, he's just going to just pop open that door very politely. Oh my god, it's falling apart here for Grayhound. They're trying to make their way forwards now because after losing one player or two, they just have to really push. All the information's gone. It's not quite working out though. Sicko, the last man standing, and Alpha Red taking all of the initiative. And finally, it looks like they make it around where they actually keep the players alive. They've been waiting for that for a while.
They are so coordinated.
Yeah.
They are showing how much you can really do if you just have great teamwork. That flashbang into the connector position was glorious. Absolutely glorious. So they make things as safe as possible. Somebody auto bought this round, so they're asking for a reset. I will never understand why pros have the auto buy bound in the first place. Just go to config and delete it. Then it's impossible for this to happen. Why is it in your config? Pros never need to be pressing F1. Just remove it from your binds. It makes no sense, but...
Well, thank God we have Match Medic.
Again, Alpha Red, just the teamwork is fantastic to see. It's a stark difference to some different teams that we've seen, and it shows you what you can do with discipline. Again, they were so humble in the pre-match interview, saying we're not the better team, but we're not a noob team, and they're showing that they are a team. Team is definitely the operative word, and they've been showing that to great effect. 6-0 for Alpha Red, 1 map up already. They're in a great spot.
Yeah, I really think so. Honestly, in so many of these situations that are very dynamic, I'd be more confident in their decision-making and their coordination behind the decisions. And you can see that it's something that I mentioned before where I said, if it gets to some weird mid-round situation where Alpha Red have taken some aggressions and it's a 3 versus 3 or it's a 4 versus 3, something like that, and you just have to summon the person calling the round or the players in the round. They have to just summon a play and just call it. And everyone has to be on the same page and just decisively go for it. I feel like Grayhound are going to have pause in those situations. We've already started to see that Alpha Red are a much more decisive team, and Grayhound needs to turn things around here. There's still plenty of rounds to do that with. But Alpha Red, with the money control, I think we can really see how important it is for them, because I think it's giving them so much confidence to go for these aggressive plays, as we are beginning to see. And this is another one of them. He's going deep with the AWP. I think he actually connected that. There's the cover in SDK. They wanted to try to punish the deep AWP while SDK's there, the rifle support. That's how you do it on Overpass.
Oh, big tag onto Urcast. He's about to lose a lot of grenades. The hunt. Oh, they go for the knife! Oh my god! The no-respect game has come out for Alpha Red. They've shown their true colours after being so polite in the pre-match. Now they're jumping behind trees with knives out. Okay, the masks have been removed, Dan. The masks have been removed. We thought they were the nicest guys, so polite. Now the knives are out.
This is perfect, James, because everyone has Grayhound pegged as the team that should wipe the floor with Alpha Red, right? And there may be a serious, because Grayhound are not a super experienced group of players or a team. These are people that are going to be a bit more susceptible to some of the mind games, and if they're not feeling it, stuff like that's going to be pretty tough to be on the end of. So I'm loving that Alpha Red are going for plays like that.
Absolutely. Right now, Grayhound need to show us that they are more than dick jokes, for sure. 0-7 on their pick. I don't know how close they've got really to many of these rounds. Some of them have gone down to the last man, but again, you have to consider the circumstances of those. The late play towards B, the last man standing on A with a free kill on the bomb planter and so on and so forth. I wouldn't consider that as close as the paper would say.
Pick from Olivia there towards the bottom of the A long area, and do get the trade coming out there. Waiting for the repositioning. Really nice response here from Grayhound. Just have to finish onto the bomb site now. And a quick rotation for Fox. How much damage can he do here? There will be 2 players here. See KdTV getting past the grenades. Quite a bit of damage. Flash is coming through. And Fox in the trade. Oh, the lineup is absolutely phenomenal there for Fox. And that damage is going to go a long way, because Malta is down to 17 HP. Mayrolls will be rolling in with that Org, and he doesn't have any nades, but he does have a kit. So there is a world with favorable timing. To find the clutch, but Malta, excellent shot coming in from him, will do the job, and Grayhound pick up their first round on the board. Absolutely the way you want to do it. I love that Sicko was posted up to punish the rotation of Olivia as he rotated from A long into the bomb site. So
Alpha Red could still buy. Olivia's got $9,000. They have taken a tactical timeout, and this is great. Just break the momentum, even if they don't really have anything to say, or even if they do. Grayhound with their first round on a board in 8 rounds, and they'll just take a tactical pause, so no momentum to take into this one. There's still a buy to be had for Alpha Red. They haven't bought anything just yet. The discipline from this team is fantastic, honestly. And now we see the buy streaming in all the weapons to AWP once more. We'll see how they change things up, or maybe they stay the same. Grayhound might expect something funky, maybe an aggressive play from Alpha Red, so because of this pause there, Grayhound could start super passive and slow just to see if they can be reactive to some aggression from Alpha Red, or they may go for a fast play to try and break a read that they might have of the buy of their opponent. Great timing on the HE. It takes 20 off Sicko.
yeah,
Money well spent.
I can really tell that Alpha Red are a team that just put the work in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is really cool. And it's in a lot of the CT setups, so you can see stuff like that. But nice pick there through the smoke from Dexter, I believe. So that's going to be painful for Alpha Red, having to start off with 4 versus 5. It can be awkward sometimes on this map, and you have to make. There's lots of different concessions that you can make. You can either split 2 to a bomb site and play passively, but against any team worth their salt, that might be a little bit too predictable. We'll see how Alpha Red do handle it. They've actually got 3 towards B here, which I think is a good way to do this. You've got a lot of delay potential in the man that you choose to guard the bathrooms, and I believe that is also Olivia. So he has the AWP, so he can really have a lot of stopping power, and that's the smoke on the A short area. So that will definitely slow things down. Oh god, there's a big gap there. That's very problematic.
Is it a bait, though? It still doesn't mean you can peek it for free. So Olivia is just spotting at the moment, and here comes the grenade. 30 seconds on the clock, and again, Battle Sniper facing forward. Is he going to fall back, though? There is a player looking towards long, so again, he's got to be really careful, but they're so far back, Grayhound. They're getting picked off one by one. Now, let's see the positioning. Olivia not really considering a long area. His teammate was covering the left-hand side, but he gets the kill regardless. The bomb has been planted. Sicko doing what he can, but it's not going to be much. One pick for Greyhound, and it is just the one round for them. Minimal damage done to Alpha Red. That was a big round for Greyhound to break the money of the CT side, to start to come back, but that hasn't really happened. The bomb plant will let them buy again, but Alpha Red surviving with 4 players is 4 too many.
Yeah, really good work from Olivia. He looked very confident there. You know, you have an entire team of players running at you, and you know, yet he was able to get the first picks in. You know, he was, because you have to be aggressive to a certain extent. You just want to. It's a very fine line to walk. You know, we could see that. You know, each peak could potentially be the end, but you have to pick a good timing, be confident, be fast, and that did so much damage. So impressive work from him. 8-1 the score. Olivia flashed off the peak, will fall back, responsibly so. And looks like we may get a burst here towards the bathrooms coming in from Grayhound. Perhaps trying to speed things up now after the slower pace has not been working out.
What is STK's plan? Backing off as the smoke start to dissipate. Smart stuff. Looks like a faster execute from Grayhound. The slower ones haven't been so good, and they have been to the telegraph. Counter flashes, and there isn't a second frag for STK. Olivia trying to create space for himself to fall back with the AWP. He's there doing some damage. His second frag. He's just trying to jiggle now, find out where Urcast is. There he is. And there he goes, making it look pedestrian. Dick Stacey, the last man standing, around the connector position. 4 players again alive for Alpha Red, so he needs to do more, but they are going back towards eco territory, Grayhound. Has he been spotted? As Olivia, no fear from him. The wide peak with the AWP, feeling very, very confident indeed. And in these 10 rounds, 4 of the players for Grayhound have 5 or less kills. This is really, it's just not a good half of Counter-Strike from them. even executes towards A, I feel like they spend so much time around the divider position after those grenades have been thrown. They're not really swarming the site. The counter flashes come in, they get stuck around this area with the, well, whatever it's called, where the snipers stand. And they're not really getting onto the site of the numbers and conceding.
We'll see a quick burst into the other side. Oh, that spray almost landing on the mark. It does do some damage, but we'll have to see if that's going to be enough. As KdTV said, it's going to be very, very weak, but everyone is so blind here, so much damage coming out. And there you go, SDK and Fox left alive to deal with the shock and all play. Fox, though, really getting himself in good position, and finding finds the double. Now down to Dexter with that AWP as he walks up the ramp, 2 players to go. Bomb ticking away. This is going to be tough, but it is doable. Ooh, the first shot there, 2 players. Where's the response? It's going to be very difficult, but 3 HP doesn't matter. Dexter with one straight to the face, and Fox is gone. The round there for Grayhound, but it was off the back of a pistol rush through the monster tunnel, James. And again, not something you can find too much consistency in, but it's a really nice round to win, just to break up the money of the CTs and make sure that you can start getting yourself more opportunities in the future. But I was wondering when they would throw in faster rounds to be, or just anything to be, actually. Yeah,
the methodology is inconsistent, but at this point, whatever works. 6 rounds still possible in this half for Grayhound, and that would be quite something considering the way a lot of these rounds have been going. 4 of the players for Alfred still with a good buy, and look at the aggression now. They're really turning the screw, or trying to. Olivia will he hold the angle for enough? He will, absolutely. Will he be able to fall back in time? He will. Grayhound have no idea. He could be repicking in so many different angles. SDK going for a trot, taking a risk. That doesn't work out with the UMP. Not quite secure, so maybe that gives Grayhound the way back into this round.
I was wondering if we would see a smoke in this position. It's Grayhound have not really been using sewers very much. You'll often see teams as part of their default takeover sewers just to prevent the CTs from having back control. And this position is very annoying, but somehow it's not able to get a kill from him. Malta will take him down. KdTV said with lots of work to do here. There goes the peak, and this looks very grim indeed here for Alpha Red. Grayhound looking like they're going to convert this one, and that has to be the case now. 1 versus 3 for Olivia. He's out of position. Very out of position, and indeed I think he's just going for the save here. Their money is absolutely broken, so Grayhound have done enough and have set themselves up to potentially reach that 6-9 scoreline, and I think perhaps Grayhound's maybe a little bit late, but they found some weaknesses on this B-bomb site.
Yeah, this is how Grayhound can find a way to 6 rounds on their T side. Olivia could do so much with this AWP in the rounds to come. I think it'll be very interesting, actually, what he chooses to do. He seems to have some good awareness in general, so as the hero sniper in the next round, if he's able to have some impact, that'll be really interesting to watch. But this is a big opportunity for Grayhound. Off the back of a pistol rush into the B-bomb site, essentially. Now they have a real chance of making it to 5 or 6 rounds.
And one of the things, we talked about, some of the meta at the tier 1 level. One of the things you see often is you see the smoke from CT to the sewers, which blocks that channel. And from the T's, you'll see, a T throwing a Molotov and a smoke towards the sewers position as well, to stop the CTs rushing forwards to make use of that smoke. And it's kind of this tug-of-war situation where both teams are vying for early control of sewers, because it's much easier if you're the team that gets it first to hold on to it, and it's really impactful to the information for your team. And so we've seen neither team really exploiting sewers all that much so far. Grayhound haven't really been pushing that position very often. For Alpha Red, it would be pretty easy for them to take it over if they wanted to. If they wanted to put 2 players there just for the moment, or make a setup around that position. Grayhound have also not really been lurking monster that much, so that would, in theory, be quite a safe option for them. So it's interesting how this has been developing. You can see Grayhound, once again, they are starting to put more players towards this B side of the map.
We see a short B flashbang delivered. Grayhound looking to take the game away from Alfred before they can get up to their shenanigans with the AWP, but it's already here. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Olivia is on B now. They're not really in position to rotate quickly towards the A bomb site, Grayhound. They could try to play the numbers game, but you don't know if it's just the AWP here or if there are more around the AWP. They did take out Foxes towards B, so they may think perhaps it's a stack, and with the time on the clock, Grayhound will try to establish what is going on elsewhere. Now, with everything going quiet, Alpha Red have a decision to make as well. Do we start to make a play towards the A bomb site? Dexter is covering plenty of angles, and Meros looks to push the short B position. Only spots one player. Now, does that encourage a rotation from Olivia? And Grayhound know that Alpha Red have only seen one player towards B as well, so they have to consider what it means for the CT side, and it seems those grenades will be enough to entertain on the B bomb side. There's no push whatsoever from Grayhound though, and there's still no rotation from Olivia just yet. Everybody else is rotating. They're leaving him towards the B bomb site. And now the rotation comes in. SDK trying to hold on to the long position in the meantime. This may delay a little bit, but how much do you commit to AWP at this point?
Yeah, I think you definitely have to try to hold on to it at this point. Teammates though don't have too much. Gotta be really careful with that AWP. I think, at Grayhound they can absolutely sacrifice a player or two to try to hunt it down as well. And they get a double peek coming in. Are they actually trying to go for this? Oh my god, they're actually trying to go for it. This is actually kind of crazy. KdTV has actually picked up an AK-47, and all of a sudden it's a 2 versus 2, and there's no kit. They have to be fast, and they are. But here comes the flank from Dexter. Could it be another position? Finds one. Oh, that's fantastic, Olivia! The 90-degree flick. Doesn't have the time though, but he did so much damage. Can he get away from the bomb? I think he just about can. Oof, 6 HP. It's a close one.
How did he even get that frag? He's so fast, it's ridiculous.
He's 18 for 6 right now, James. He's having quite the half.
Yeah, he's been very impactful on this CT side, but again, it's all Grayhound at the moment. The buy is coming in, however, from Alpha Red, so there's a chance for them to change their fortune back to how it was going. Such a string of rounds, 7 rounds in a row, 7-0 up, and it was 9-1. But now it is 9-4. Grayhound with some momentum finally. Maybe they can continue it, but bearing in mind what Alpha Red just did with 1 AWP, now they've got 4 orgs around it. This might be the end of the road for Grayhound in this half.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Grayhound are right to try to, well, hopefully if they do decide to do this, I think they would be right to set themselves up in sewers again. I think that, Alpha Red, they haven't really been able to hold it very well. And I think that's if you're looking at their CT setups, that's one potential leak or one way you can get an advantage fairly cost effectively, I would say, against Alpha Red. They've actually been pretty very good towards the A side of the map. That's where we saw the dominance is in that combination between STK and Olivia. But Malta looking to lurk the monster tunnel here and see if he can find a quick flashbang going straight through, and he's not liking the look of that, so he's going to get out of dodge for the moment. And Alpha Red are playing a pretty passive setup here on this B-bomb site. They don't quite have much information to the credit of Grayhound, because Grayhound have presence everywhere right now.
But what they are running out of is time, and we've seen this issue before where they go for the execute towards the A bomb site but can't really get close to the bomb site without losing loads of players. And last time Malta did a great job of lurking towards B and killing 2 players, but the timing was off and the round was still won on the A bomb site. And it seems they're offering a fake towards A. What kind of rotation will there be? Fox is making his way towards the B bomb site, it seems, so I'm not really believing this. Nesdic Stacey taken out, but they're still holding steadfast on the B bomb site, the CT side. KdTV by the barrel position, revealing now there's a trade from Sicko, and maybe there's a chance to plant the bomb, but 9 seconds left as the bomb gets planted. That's going to work out for them, but now what? Spray some harassment from Foxes as he closes the distance. He's on the bomb site now. Down goes Sicko on the lower ground, and down goes Dexter as well, leaving Urkas in a 1 versus 2. He has an angle. There are no grenades for Alpha Red. I don't know if they know he's here. And it's the rifler defusing the bomb. That is huge from Urkas, but now how does he deal with Olivia? Does he re-peek him? Oh, he tries to bait the shot, and he does, but it's successful. Olivia again is unstoppable on Overpass. 24-6.
Damn. You can see he played that very intelligently as well, because sometimes you have a guy jiggling you and you're trying to connect that full shot, but I think he was just actually aiming on the corner so that if you shoot, you give yourself your reaction time's a bit of a buffer, so you just get the wallbang, you guarantee the wallbang. You know that he's tagged up most likely. So that was a close one. You can see him sort of wiping the sweat from his brow. That was a very close one, and that's a much needed round for Alpha Red. Again, you can really consider that for teams that specialize in the map like Overpass, the CT side is where they can do a lot of damage. So I would expect Grayhound to have a strong CT side, but we'll see if Alpha Red can close with 11, or if Grayhound are going to get themselves number 5. And we've got this Shoddy close range for SDK. Oh, can't quite find the angle. That's not too favorable. Down to 9 HP. That is not a good look here for SDK. He's still going to be sticking around though. Fancies himself another go at this one. Dick Stacey, no idea where he's gone, perhaps presuming that he's backed away. And it's worked out there beautifully. Almost a second bite at the cherry there, but oh god, it's Olivia.
Yeah, but this was a really brittle setup with him in connector, because you can't really, it's a difficult spot, but I'm not one to doubt him. But he's got a lot of information because connector is empty now, so he could choose to stay on this side, but he's going to hunt. Oh god, if he takes one from behind, then they're going to be really upset about that. Who wouldn't be?
James flanked.
No prior warning.
Flanked with the orb.
Yeah, but he's flanking the wrong direction. Oh, Malta's on the way back. The Sun cues the pistol, surely. Oh my god, this is a very weird situation. But now Grayhound have to speed up towards the A bomb site. Fox is pushing short B, so they'll get the information. Marirols, there we go, is going towards the A site where KNTZ is. There's a smoke towards long. There's an execute from mostly far away. Overpass is up front. He's going to win his first duel. So there might be a chance to plant this bomb. It's not going to look very good.
Yeah, it's very chaotic there. Don't know what to check. It's not enough time. The CT's got there in just enough time. And speaking of which, there's 10 seconds to go. You have to force the plant of the bomb. That's one of the two players out of action for 3.5 seconds. Very nice shot there. Olivia going down. Sicko doing a really good amount of damage here. Fox in the 1v1 against Sicko now with a UMP. Flash over the top to try to make this play. How's he going to do this one? A long reload for the UMP. Tapping the bomb, threatening. There's the AWP, rattling off another shot as Fox looks to close the distance with this UMP. Spots the shadow, has to commit to it. He's got it! Does he have time? He's got plenty of time. And that is 11 rounds for Alpha Red.
That is quite the half from Alpha Reds. Are you telling me they can't win 5 rounds on their T side? I would be very surprised. This pistol round, I mean, this is a very bad situation for Grayhound.
Yes.
A very bad situation. If Alpha Red win the pistol round, does that compel them to force buy? If they force buy and fail, is that, I mean, at the back of your mind, you have to wonder, is that a GG right there? There is so much riding on just the beginning of this half. Definitely a long road to come back for Grayhound. This is a very awkward spot. I mean, Olivia, this performance, 21 for 7 in the first half, that is absolutely, he's gone nuclear. But can he keep it up on the T side? You have the luxury of the surprise angles as a CT AWP, and if you can deliver, then this is what's possible. But now you have to close things out on the T side, and that might be easier said than done.
Oh yeah, yes, it's a game of two halves. Obviously a phrase from football, but in Counter-Strike it's definitely a game of two halves in the sense that it's so different, the style of play and what you're asked to try to do. And SK is spotted immediately there, going towards 2. It's very fast without really any support coming in. And that's a free one for Grayhound. Absolutely what they wanted and what they needed. Still spot the players in the connector position as well. And they'll see that Suez is clear, so they can start to rotate players perhaps back. They don't need quite as many towards B. But Alpha Red has not committed anything just yet. They have to be so careful at this point that they don't give away another player. The numbers is an important advantage with Glocks.
Big flashbang, but there's no peek from Sicko. Maybe he ate it as well, I'm not sure, but the one tap is beautiful. The bomb's surely been spotted now. This is fantastic for Grayhound for a number of reasons, actually. That is huge. So Urkas got tagged towards the end. Had that not happened, 3 players would have got the cheap helmet and probably rifles for Grayhound. But now it'll be Malta and Sicko who get the helmet for $350. The rest will have to spend a full $1,000 on their armor to make sure they get a helmet. Sicko, well, Sicko and Malta opt for SMGs. Maybe they didn't have money for it. It might have been, I think they were $50 short actually, in fairness. But they've got plenty of grenades, so money-making opportunities for them. And again, that's step 1 for Grayhound. They had to win the pistol. Now they've got an eco to get another free round. Well, to get a free round. And that would be fantastic. But we've seen these rounds be painful before. 4 deagles for Alpha Red. So there is damage to be done to them.
Yeah, and I think, so much this is about being patient too, as I think you mentioned on the previous map. You can get economic damage in just by playing a slow rounds and forcing a team like Grayhound to just expend their utility. It's a lot of money. The CT utility can easily cost over $1,000, so if you include the incendiaries and everything like that. 600 a pop.
Ooh, again.
Yeah, it's a really annoying shot to be up against. You can see the angle there. It's very commonly sprayed. And Dexter moving around the bathrooms here. I think, well, here's some stepping. Has he been hurt though? I don't know if, I think he may have made a step as well. Well, this is interesting. Looks like, oh my god. Oh my days. It looks like Dexter will be able to find him. Had more information of the position of his opponent. And here the pistols go, seeing what they can get done on this B-bomb site.
Ooh, the back of the head. That's painful. Then more to be done. Okay! That's another $4,000 of damage. Wasn't expecting that. Came out of nowhere. And now it's time, or is it time, for the buy from Alpha Red. They wouldn't, if they went for the AKs, they would have next to no grenades. And they will go for the AKs. I like it. I want to see carnage. This might suggest a fast play, maybe even towards the B-bomb site. So SDK will take one for the team and go UMP. He will have most of the grenades. They could go for a wall of smoke towards the A-bomb site as well with the level of grenades they have. So they might want to avoid the initial nonsense from Grayhound, the shrapnel and so on, but maybe not. It will be played towards the B-bomb site. Now the smoke in the Molotov might be a warning to Grayhound, but they have mollies on short B as well. Although that might have been thrown from the T side to stop Grayhound from pushing short B. Expectant grenades from the CTs. And it will start to slow down. We have one flashbang for Alpha Red and 3 smoke grenades, but just a one flashbang to rule them all.
Yeah, I mean, they are a team that have shown us that they have a lot of purpose behind their utility already. And one thing we didn't see too much from Grayhound's T side is some of these B set pieces. And I feel like that's something we may see, in fact, actually from them here. You know, there's some harassment towards this serious position, see if Grayhound will throw any more utility, just slow things down a little bit. I think there's a lot to be said for that. You can see a smoke coming in, and here's a boost. Are they looking for it all the time? Amazing! It is absolutely phenomenal there for the CTs. The perfect timing, and now Alpha Red have lost one player, and they've got only 2 smokes left. Things are starting to get desperate.
Yeah, they've seen 2 players towards B, Grayhound. They didn't see the bomb. Speaking of the bomb, oh, this timing. SDK seems aware that there could be a push, however. Ah, that is beautiful. Oh my god, he escapes. He has seen the bomb though, so surely there's a rotation towards the A-bomb site. Olivia knows what this means, and he's going to take things into his own hands with a clear out. Grayhound caught on the rotation, and that is a man advantage for Alpha Red. Oh, Olivia cannot be stopped on either side, it seems. Cat's walking into the smoke as well. That's the 3rd kill this round for Olivia. It's Olivia versus the world. With some cameo appearances from the other 4 players, and now Alpha Red have double the score of their opponent, and they've broken the money as well.
Wow. That is really impressive. It was looking so strong for Grayhound. You can see they were actively searching for information, but Alpha Red, as soon as well, basically there was that button press, as soon as they lost an additional player, it's like, boom, well, we only have one option. We just have to try to get an entry into this site. The most forward player was Olivia, wins that heads-up duel on the bomb site, and away we go. He really seems confident here so far today, and that's so awesome to see. Grayhound in a very tough position, stuck on a save at the mercy of Alpha Reds, who have all the toys, and Greyhound would do well to get some economic damage here. You can see that the money is pretty bad for Alpha Red in this position, so there is some. That's a realistic objective here for Greyhounds. Get a couple kills. If there's a world where you can steal away an AK and save it into the following round, that's also something that would be pretty awesome. We'll have to see if they can do one of those things. We have the boost here to try to get a quick pick, but it won't be the case.
Will they identify the stack? Only 2 Molotovs, Alpha Red. This could be painful for them. That said, they've got a minute on the clock, and Olivia's moving down a long position. Now, ideally, I mean, you could have somebody on the van, in bank on A to make sure you don't get flanked, but that isn't the case for Greyhound. Alpha Red inviting more response and information from Greyhound, but again, look at Olivia. They're just so disciplined. It is so fantastic to see, and Olivia's made his way towards the A side just before they commit towards B. There's 26 seconds though for the rotation, so instead he's going to be flanking the players moving in. He's going to be taking them out from behind if he can do it in time. 19 seconds. There are 3 players still alive for Greyhound. Olivia needs to be activated. Beautiful stuff. The timing is going to work out perfectly for Alpha Red, just about marvelous. the presence of mind from them that we've seen in multiple rounds is fantastic. When the bomb was seen towards Fountain, no hesitation, instant decisiveness, take over the A bomb site, clear the path for the teams to rotate in that position. Some teams rather, may have gone for a very late rotation towards towards A from the B bomb site, but they have 4 players there. They can flank on the high ground instead and take that as a better decision and clear everybody out with the stack in the B bomb site, which is awesome.
Yeah, things are looking really good for Alpha Red. They just seem so prepared. And once again, Greyhounds not able to really get a 4-buy in and go for the half-buy. They're going to concede that, or they're thinking to concede the 14th round for Alpha Red, but maybe they pick this one up with the smokes that they have, some Kevlars in the mix, some 5.7s, some CZs. It's definitely not a guarantee here, and as we can see, the pistol's doing great work, and it's a 3 versus 5. Salvage operation now, KdTV trying to push through the short position. Oh, that's really nice damage coming in. This is perhaps the best he could have hoped to get, and now down to SDK and Fox. SDK with a good position coming in from the monster tunnel, and he has the bomb as well. And there's a minute to work with in this 2 versus 3. And with Dick Stacy so weak, they should be okay here. But Sicko on the flank is going to be potentially an issue. But some legs were surely spotted there. I'm not sure if it was or not, actually. He would have caught it to his teammate, who is at risk on the short position at this point. Indeed, the frag was made, and life doesn't look too bad at this point. Bomb goes down. There's no kit for these CTs, James, so that will make life quite difficult.
I love the use of time from Alpha Reds with after putting the smoke in as well. But let's see what they can do now. They should know somebody is on the low ground and jumping through the smoke themselves. Almost a 180. Now Foxes has all the information and Dexter has to guess. It could be monster, it could be short. It's basically a 50-50 in that respect. There's no defuse kit for Dexter, so he's got to touch the bomb early. Fox is not believing it just yet. Here's Dexter. Oh, what can he do really? He's got to touch the bomb again. He's just waiting for the peak. The wide peak is beautiful. I don't think he even fired a bullet, Dexter. It was close for Grayhound, but not quite. They won the pistol, Grayhound. Beyond that, really, yes, they won the consecutive round, but that one is a given. Outside of that, they haven't done too much.
It's pretty smart stuff from Alpha Red there as well. You can pretty safely gamble on the fact that if there's no diffuse kits in a round like that. You know that they've got Kevlars and pistols. They're not buying diffuse kits. Very unlikely. And here comes the 4-buy. This really is the last chance saloon for Grayhound with AWP. The Orgs, the M4s, and immediately Alpha Red will take position towards connector. Start pushing towards bathrooms as well. Sicko yet to find anything. It has got some damage. KdTV down to 14 out to 10 after the spray. And I have to say Grayhound have been getting quite a lot of damage through the wall banks.
They need frags. They need rounds. Well, there's part 1. Some map control for them. They'll drop the smoke behind Divider, but Alpha Red seem offended by this. The whole gang has come into play now. Around that toilet position. Grayhound playing passive towards B. They don't have information that no one is in that short B area. If they did, maybe they would rotate somebody. Dexter's deep up long. He has no support though from another player, but this might not be such an easy position to check. Mayor Rolls is long on his own, but if he has his timing right, he's jumping onto the flower bed, and now Dexter can prepare. He knows somebody's there. He has a shadow advantage as well, and I feel like Mayor Rolls is not going to check this position. This could be brutal, but in the meantime, players are being lost on the bomb site. Olivia is up deep on his own. He's got his teammate needs to rotate. There is Olivia causing problems once again. He knows somebody's towards that long position, faking, inviting players to move through the smoke, but soon that smoke will be gone. KdTV is there. Away we have the appearance of more CTs now on the other side. Olivia, he does bleed. He is fallible. Fraggable. 12 seconds. KdTV needs to do damage. He won't do that. And Grayhound move to half the score of their opponent once again, 7-14.
Yeah, and I think it was a solid gamble by Olivia to try to go for the plants, the fakes there to try to bait out players, because you don't know if there's someone on the stairs. You don't know where the CTs are, and if you want to win this round, you do need to find some fragging spots and try to get an advantage. And that was as good as any. But Grayhound, they begin the long ascent to try to equalize. But it's 7 in a row that they need to win to equalize with Alpha Red. It's kind of crazy that Alpha Red have built so many big leads like this against Greyhounds, but KdTV going real fast here through the B short position. How much value can they find here? Not too much. The MP9 is mowing them down. USP out, and Malta finishes the job. And there you go. 8 rounds now for Grayhound, and the buy for for Alpha Red is going to be coming in. And Olivia, he's been dangerous. He's got 28 kills. He's slowed down a little bit in recent rounds, but 28 for 12 is not too bad. One thing we haven't mentioned is that Fox has been trailing him consistently, only by a few kills at 24 and 12. So Fox has been doing a fantastic job with the rifle as well for Alpha Red, and I wonder what the play will be for them. They've had quite a lot of success in a variety of rounds. But with the AWP to John I did it. Olivia, they definitely there's lots of different ways you can abuse that on this map. Like you can try to, if you feel like Greyhound are going to be aggressive towards A long, maybe you try to get him to lie in wait instead of trap, or play a bait with it. Perhaps you try to just look towards Monster. You know, it depends on how you read the tendencies of your opposition, but Olivia was fairly good at getting those aggressive picks on the CT side, so perhaps it will be no different on this T side.
Hard to look through the flames with a scope. Can't really see anything, but he will hold the angle anyway. 3 players in B to start with for Greyhound. Malta seems to be creeping through the smoke with a flashbang, and this is dangerous towards B bomb site because SDK, okay, he's falling back. That's smart stuff. You don't want to be out there on your own for too long because that could be a real problem if you go down. Olivia looking for the right timing, maybe a flashbang from a teammate. There's only 1 flash left actually for Alpha Red, and their map control is not stellar, so they are really playing for picks at this moment. And if Greyhound don't offer them, then Alpha Red may struggle. I say that, but they do have Olivia on their team, and he is just decimating everybody he sees. So this may be difficult though. Did he see? Oh, he saw it, didn't he? Surely he gets a kill here. Oh, there it is, straight in the side of the face.
The worst thing is, James, is that there was a teammate there, Dexter, who heard the scope, and he probably didn't communicate to his teammate that can mean a couple of things.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, I was wondering if there would have been communication there about that.
But now what do? They don't have that flashbang anymore. They need more picks.
Slowly to the A sites, and oh, that's a big frag there. Fox now making life very difficult for Sicko. He's getting flanked. They're getting close to the B-bomb side as well. Sicko has it all to do from this position, but he's out of position to prevent the bomb from going down. And right now, Alpha Red are winning all of the fights. Sicko needs an enormous clutch here with this AWP. He does have some utility, but their money, it's not perfect. Does he decide to give this one up? It's so difficult. No one's giving him anything. If he can get a fast frag, maybe he can be on for this. He is pushing forwards to see what he can find. Molotov there to try to get someone out of position. Of course, some sound cues. They're burning, forced out of position. Oh, misses the flick. Even if he had hit that, he's absolutely getting traded. 15-8, Alpha Red making quick work of Greyhound so far, but it's not over until Alpha Red gets 16 rounds, and the AWP is back out for Sicko. Greyhound are still in this, James.
They are, but for how long? That is the question. The margin for error becomes 0. Alpha Red very, very well equipped, ready for a fast round with 5 AKs and all the utility in the world. But look at what Greyhound have to deal with. They've got good guns, in fairness. Dexter is the only person with some shortcomings, but that 5.7 can be very dangerous as well. Alpha Red with a focus towards the B-bomb sites, it seems, and the same could be said for Greyhound, especially with Dexter in that connector position. He could flank towards short B when people head there later on. Only Sicko towards the A site with the AWP, so Alpha Red, they could overplay their hand. By no means is it guaranteed that they will convert this round. The money in the hole isn't fantastic. So that's a smoke onto the side to help plant the bomb. Although, they can use it to their advantage, but they need people alive for that, and Malta and Dexter get taken down in quick succession.
Cass with a FAMAS in a very difficult position, has much to deliver. Gets some assistance there from Dick Stacey. He'll dump through the smoke, and it's all happening now for Greyhound. They're getting all the trades that they need. KdTV said the last man standing in 3 is going to be very difficult, and that's quite the turnaround. I thought with the 2 opening kills that it was over, but Grayhound managed to recover quite nicely. However, they need 6 more rounds in a row to secure the overtime, and that's going to be very difficult, but at least they do have a much better buy now going into this next round.
So we have a technical pause for Alpha Red at the moment. The money is not spectacular for them, so they will be in eco territory. And this is, I mean, you may feel like Grayhound are miles away, but with the money broken for Alpha Red and Grayhound on the cusp of 10 rounds, that could change very, very quickly indeed. So it is actually worth considering the potential for overtime at this point. Grayhound will certainly be discussing that. This really isn't over yet. I'm sure Olivia would love to get 30 frags, so he might not mind the odd extra round. And Fox still has some catching up to do with 25 kills to the 29 of Olivia. There's a good average of frags on Grayhound, just not a good score overall.
Yeah, it's been difficult for them to find some good spots and consistent spots. I think that's one of the differences as well. I feel like obviously for Alpha Red, something that helps is that Olivia. I mean, Fox is fragging very well also, but Olivia's been getting a lot of the key, initial kills in a lot of the rounds with the AWP by playing aggressively, really setting the tone, setting his team up in that way, and that helps a lot. But it does feel like Alpha Red have a structure that's fairly consistent, and I think that really helps so much. And we're seeing the benefits of that and the hard work that they've been putting into the game. And in the interview, they said that they didn't think they were a better team than Grayhound. And look at them go.
Yeah, then the knife came out there.
Then the knife came out, absolutely. Yeah.
Very timely move towards short B. It's a fast play from Alpha Red. Cass, does he have good timing on the HG? I think he might do if he threw it. Either way, the gun will fail for Grayhound, the big gun versus the lowly pistols of Alpha Red. It's a nice fast eco round, and we'll see what Alpha Red have to offer. It's not great. I think they have to buy here, otherwise they'll just be throwing a buy away. So this could still be a strong round for Grayhound because Alpha Red will be limited with the grenades and such. I think generally their executes are more on point. I just think they're more organised on both halves than Grayhound are. So I think they can do more with less, but how much more is the question.
Yeah, something that they've been showing us is that with just a few bits of utility, they know more how to use that to get through the choke points. And this does get a bit scary. Previously, they learned that if they hang out in sewers for too long, it does come with some risks. We saw that Grayhound had very nicely timed boosts to look into the sewers and the connector position and to either get frags or get the information. And that's really what Alpha Red need to look out for. They don't want to get caught by those boosts again. You see flashes at the ready there. On high alert on the B-bomb sites for potential aggression. Alpha Red has slowed things right down after taking sewers. I like this. This is a good default so far from Alpha Red. Can they trade this kill? Dexter though, looks like he's going to escape. Mayrolls was very far away.
Does he try and punish the spray? Creeping out, and he won't go too far. Now STK will try and get something done. That smoke will actually let STK creep out. Crouching as well. Can sometimes see people from graffiti, but this could be a slow play for Alpha Red. In fact, they're going to walk in behind it. They're all going to burst all over the side. This is going to be a complete disaster for Grayhound. They're backing off, maybe considering the possibilities here. So that's good awareness from them. That will be absolutely punished. And now they've got really big problems. Does Foxes go for the 1 versus 1? They have outmaneuvered themselves, Grayhound. How do they get back into this? It's match point Alpha Red, and they've got a man advantage.
Yeah, great presence of mind for Fox to look for the boost, and KdTV locking down the flank as well. And AWP and all to try to do it. Nice frag coming in from Sicko. 2 versus 3 now as the bomb ticks away, and time is as much as an enemy for Grayhound as Alpha Red are in this retake, but it's going well. Malta with another one, a 2 versus 2 now. Can they find anything else? Sicko, he's got to push forward aggressively. Maybe he wants to switch to a rifle. This is so awkward with the AWP around the corner. Can't get it done. A double piece in. Alpha Red have upset Grayhound in a 2-0 victory, and they have shown us, James, I think, a lot of hard work and heart in their gameplay.
That was a fantastic performance from Alpha Red. Again, just so organized.